My husband refuses to fix his sleep apnea, and accuses me of being a light sleeper, so I'm going to leave his ass if he doesn't stop snoring. My husband and I have been married for 3 years and have been living together for 5. He has always snored, and it has gotten worse over time. He would wake me up 5 to 10 times a night. In 2020, he did a sleep study and was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, for which he was prescribed a CPAP. However, he wore the CPAP for less than a week because it was uncomfortable. Throughout the years, I have spent hundreds of dollars on over-the-counter sleep medications and earplugs in an attempt to get some sleep. I've tried to calmly speak to my husband about this over the years, but it has often been met with responses such as, "You are just a light sleeper, I'm not talking about this, and why are we talking about this? And married people should sleep in the same bed." I haven't always handled this situation the best way. I've gotten very frustrated and yelled at him in the middle of the night. I'm working on expressing my thoughts more calmly. During the summer of 2022, I was pregnant, and my therapist strongly recommended that I sleep elsewhere. I was nervous but moved to our guest room across the hall. A few months ago, I moved to the basement because the snoring was still waking me up. This has provided better sleep but has had a horrible effect on my mental health. I have frequently encouraged him to go back to the doctor about his sleep apnea, possibly to try another CPAP or explore other options. I'm also concerned about the effects of untreated sleep apnea on his physical and mental health. I tell him I want to sleep in the same bed as much as he does. I know many couples find success in separate bedrooms, but he has made it clear that he is not interested in that. Recently, he mentioned, "I bet even if I fixed my snoring, you wouldn't sleep in the same bed as me." I was stunned. In my opinion, my enduring this for over 3 years shows the opposite. He finally offered to switch and let me sleep in our bed, but 3 days later, he was complaining about how he couldn't do it. He keeps stringing me along about going to the doctor, and I don't think he actually plans to go. His complete disregard for my sleep over the years is incredibly hurtful. His refusal to fix an easily fixable problem is mind-boggling. My question is, should I give him an ultimatum to fix his sleep apnea, or should I consider divorce? Are ultimatums ever healthy? I need advice on how to deal with this. What would you do? Relevant comments. Comment 1. Sleep apnea isn't just inconvenient and noisy, it can cause serious health issues. His brain is literally being starved of oxygen, which can make him more prone to heart disease and stroke as well. Does he not understand that? Your sleep is important too. Sleep deprivation is considered a form of torture. I understand that learning to use a CPAP can take time, and sometimes you have to try a few different masks before finding one that fits well. But trying for a week isn't much of an effort, in my opinion. I am not a fan of ultimatums, but he needs to know you're serious. You could say, "Babe, I love you and want our marriage to work. When you refuse to treat your sleep apnea, I feel sad and angry. I'm sad for you because I know what negative health impacts are lying in wait. I'm angry for me because I feel like you don't care enough about me to do what needs to be done so I can actually get sleep myself." Sleep deprivation has negative health impacts too. So moving forward, I need you to see your doctor, try more masks until one works for you, and make a real effort to resolve this, or I have to reevaluate the long-term situation. It's not just annoying, it's a serious health issue for both of us. He can throw a tantrum, and that's okay. You might need to send him to the less comfortable room in the basement or wherever. This is his issue to fix, and it is fixable with practically no effort on his part. He's just being selfish, stubborn, and lazy. When my ex-husband developed sleep apnea, he told his doctor he was there for a sleep study instead of a divorce or a new couch. He wasn't so much kidding. I would not have put up with that for long. Response: thank you so much for this dialogue. I need it. I am not a fan of ultimatums either. I am concerned and frustrated for our marriage. I also am trying to handle everything in a healthy and calm manner. Comment 2. I know I'm an outlier, but I was the one who told my husband that he stopped breathing in his sleep and that he needed a sleep study. He totally agreed with me. 6 months later, I reminded him about it and explained that I was terrified that one night he'd just die in his sleep, and I'd wake up next to a corpse. He made an appointment for the following week. It's taken a bit for him to get used to traveling with it, but generally, he sleeps better, feels more rested, and dreams when he wears his mask. I think a solid boundary of "no, I won't share a bed with you unless you're using your sleep mask" is reasonable. Or you could wake him up every time he wakes you up. Don't get angry, just shake his shoulder until he's as fully awake as you are. If that's a reasonable standard for your sleep quality, it's a reasonable standard for his. Have the conversation after buying a variety pack of mask types for him to try. There's also a mouth guard that's incredible but needs to be refitted every time you have dental work done. Response: thank you for your insight. He is aware of the risks, but I think he is in denial at the same time. I am planning on sitting him down and talking to him again. Comment 3. I would think the mini deaths every night would be enough to get him to take it seriously. Update 1. Everyone who is saying he should try this, I guarantee you I presented that as a solution for him. The Inspire implant, BiPAP, mouthguards, surgery, etc. He insists that he will only try the CPAP. I've suggested different masks, but he's reluctant and he's tried 2 different ones. I do appreciate all your support and suggestions, though. I guess I made this post just to vent. I don't really know why I made it. I sat down with him and gave an ultimatum. I told him that he needs to treat his sleep apnea, or I will divorce him. He didn't say much. We will see what he does with it. As for my update, there is no update. I'm considering filing for divorce by the end of the year if this doesn't get resolved. For the past 5 years, my husband's sleep apnea has been a significant challenge in our marriage. Initially, I slept next to him, but his snoring made it difficult for me to get restful sleep. Despite trying different solutions, like earplugs, my sleep continued to suffer. When I became pregnant, I reached a point where I couldn't handle the lack of sleep anymore. On my therapist's recommendation, I decided to move to the spare room across the hall, and we've been sleeping separately for the last 2 years. A year ago, his snoring became so loud that it started waking me up from across the hall, forcing me to move to the basement to get some rest. Unfortunately, sleeping in the basement has taken a toll on my mental health. After several conversations with him about my concerns, I expressed that I didn't want to sleep in the basement anymore and asked him to see a doctor for his sleep apnea. Instead, he started sleeping in the basement himself, which felt like a temporary fix rather than a long-term solution. The issue persists, especially when we travel, as our daughter and I end up sharing a room with him, and his snoring makes it difficult for us to sleep. I'm increasingly concerned about how this might affect our daughter's sleep as well. I recently sat down with him to express my concerns about his health and the impact this situation is having on our marriage. I shared that I was worried about the potential long-term consequences, both for him and for our relationship, because I have read studies that state that people die in their early 30s with untreated severe sleep apnea. In response, he made a comment that deeply upset me. He laughed and said, "At least I have 10 more years." Though I've tried to stay calm throughout this, I couldn't hold back my frustration in that moment. After I lost it, he did go to the doctor and got a new CPAP machine, but wearing it consistently has been a challenge for him. There have been various excuses about its discomfort, and despite his insistence that the CPAP is the only option, he hasn't been able to wear it through the night. We tried sleeping in the same bed again, but I found myself waking up multiple times to remind him to put the CPAP back on. After 2 weeks of disrupted sleep, I realized that he was taking the CPAP off as soon as I fell asleep, and I had to return to the basement. Lately, I've noticed through reports from the CPAP machine that he hasn't been wearing it at all, which has left me feeling incredibly frustrated and helpless. I feel like it's creating a huge wedge in our relationship and making me feel unattracted to him. This has been an ongoing issue for 5 years, and I'm struggling to see how I can continue living like this for another 5. I'm trying to stay calm and find the right words to express my feelings, but if we can't resolve this, I may need to consider other options for my own well-being. Relevant comments. Comment 1. He needs to practice with the mask. On a day off, when he wakes up, leave the mask on while he reads in bed. When he gets time to relax and unwind after work, play a game while he's wearing it. Meditate while wearing the damn thing, focus on breathing. This will save his life and sanity? Apnea almost destroyed me. I was having 98 interruptions per hour. Basically, I was surviving on micro naps and was barely functional during my day. I'm now wearing it every night and am a normal, functional person. Comment 2. I divorced my ex-husband for a similar issue. He had spinal issues due to being obese, lost some weight, and had spinal surgery. I took care of him, even wiping his behind, during recovery, which totaled almost a year. He started eating junk and becoming obese again. He had sleep apnea due to his weight and so many other health issues. I would cry to him about how terrified I was that I would wake up to him dead beside me because he stopped breathing. It was a choice that was going to lead to me being a caregiver of a fully grown adult with a solvable health problem. He developed another spinal issue due to being 400 pounds. I left, and I have never regretted it. Comment 3. My friend and her husband died from sleep apnea. They were both in their mid-20s and overweight. They died in their sleep less than a year apart. Response: this is what scares me the most. And he joked about it. Update 2. I put down a retainer for an attorney, filled out the paperwork, and I will be officially filing for divorce next week. I finally came to the realization, thanks to almost 900 comments on that post, some wise advice from family and friends, and a lot of introspection, that he will never change. He has a severe lack of empathy for others. I have proof, through many texts, that I have told him his snoring has been impacting my sleep for years, and he simply does not care. This is on top of him in the past secretly opening a credit card and spending thousands of dollars on playing cards and catching him talking to other women behind my back. I know it takes two for a marriage to fail, so I am definitely reflecting on my own mistakes and contributions. My goal going forward is to provide my daughter with the most calm, stable, loving environment, which I've realized is impossible while in this marriage. Thank you for all the help.